Bless up, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Daily Scoop, where we keep you updated on everything happening across dancehall, reggae, entertainment, and Jamaican music culture. Today, we have a very interesting situation developing around Skillibeng, Intense Massacre, RYtIKAL, Alkaline, and the wider Gaza conversation. And trust me, people, this one deserves some attention because what started as musical competition and social media commentary is now producing some very strong reaction. So we are going to get straight into it. What exactly did Skillibeng say? Why is RYtIKAL name coming up again? What happened after Intense released his latest song? And why are some people connecting this situation back to Alkaline Massacre and the Gaza camp? So let's break everything down. Now, people, from some time we have been seeing conversations surrounding Skillibeng and RYtIKAL. Whenever Skillibeng preview music or put something out that appears to have a competitive edge, the comment section immediately become a battlefield. You have fans saying one thing, other fans saying something completely different, and then you have people bringing RYtIKAL into the conversation. Some supporters have been arguing that RYtIKAL's style is better, while others believe Skillibeng has developed a completely different identity and should not be compared to anybody. But this time, Skillibeng himself decided to respond, and that is where things became interesting. A comment surfaced where somebody essentially suggests that another artist was doing the style better than Skillibeng. Instead of ignoring it, Skillibeng jumped into the conversation, and his response was basically this. He was making it clear that he believed he created and developed his own style and flow, and he does not intend to keep explaining himself every time somebody questions his originality. He also sent a message to what he described as internet warriors, saying that criticism does not weaken him. In fact, according to Skillibeng's message, the people try to challenge him, the more determined he becomes. That is an important part of this story because Skillibeng was not simply saying I am better, he was defending his identity as an artist, and that is a different conversation. Now, here is where the discussion gets even more interesting. For years, dancehall fans have debated where certain modern flow originated from. You hear people comparing different artists, you hear names such as RYtIKAL, Skillibeng, Intense, and others mentioned whenever this particular style of delivery comes up. Some fans believe one artist influenced another, other people believe several artists developed similar sounds independently because they came from the same musical environment. And Skillibeng is clearly tired of people suggesting that somebody else is responsible for his entire musical identity. He basically stated that RYtIKAL never wrote his song for him. That's significant because writing credits and artistic influence are two completely different things. An artist can influence another artist without actually writing songs for them. And two artists can also develop similar sounds without one copying the other. That is why this conversation needs to be handled carefully because social media loves to turn artistic similarities into accusation. Another part of Skillibeng's statement that caught attention was his confidence. He was essentially saying that he knows his own ability. He believes he can accomplish whatever he puts his mind toward, and whether people support him or criticize him, he intends to continue moving forward. That mentality is important in dancehall because once an artist reaches a certain level, criticism becomes unavoidable. Every new song gets compared, every flow gets analyzed, every interview becomes a debate, and every social media comment can turn into a full-blown argument. Skillibeng is now at a stage in his career where people expect him to defend his position. But here is the question. Does an artist always need to respond? respond. That's where I think the situation become complicated. Sometimes responding make your position stronger, other times responding give a small comment a much bigger audience, and that is exactly what we are seeing here. Now, let's move over to Intense, because before this latest Skillibeng situation developed, Intense had already released music that sparked the discussion, and people immediately began asking whether certain lines were aimed at specific artists. That is normal in dancehall. The genre has always been built around competition. Artists make songs, fans interpret lyrics, bloggers discuss them, then another artist respond, and suddenly we have a musical storyline developing. But what made this situation interesting was the fact that Skillibeng name became connected to the conversation. People began asking whether Intense was deliberately provoking Skillibeng. Others wondered whether Skillibeng would answer musically, and then there were people trying to connect everything back to Massacre. This is where fans have to slow down, because sometimes a lyrics can be interpreted as a shot without the artist ever officially confirming who it was about. So we have to separate what was actually said from what fans believe it means. No, anybody who follow dancehall know that Massacre name frequently enters conversation involving modern lyrical competition. Massacre has built a reputation around his writing, delivery, and ability to make records that appeal beyond Jamaica. So whenever an artist shows a line that fans believe reference him, the comment section gets busy, and that is what we are seeing again. But here is something important. Not every mention of an artist automatically mean a full-scale clash. Dancehall fans sometimes take one line and build an entire war around it. One artist can say something general, a fan decide it's about Massacre, another fan say it is about Alkaline, someone else say it's about Skillibeng, and before you know it, the entire dancehall community is arguing. That is why we need to listen carefully before declaring that two artists are officially at war. Another piece of the conversation came from Quest Time, where the situation was discussed and analyzed. The discussion centered around Skillibeng's social media response and the ongoing debate about his style. The basic challenge being put forward was, if you are confident in your style, why not answer through music? That is an interesting question, because dancehall has always had a tradition where artists don't necessarily settle everything through interviews. Sometimes the microphone is the answer. You don't have to argue in a comment section. You don't have to write paragraph. You can simply enter the studio and respond. But again, that's a choice for the artist. Skillibeng may decide to ignore the entire thing. He may decide to respond musically, or he may simply continue releasing his own material. And then people, we have Alkaline. This is where the story became even more interesting, because Intense has been associated with conversations involving the Vendetta movement, and Alkaline remain one of the most discussed figures whenever dancehall competition comes up. For years, Alkaline and Massacre have been compared by fans. Both have established significant careers, both have loyal supporters. Both have released projects that created major conversation. So whenever a young artist sees something that appears to favor one over another, the fans immediately start choosing side. That's exactly what happened here. Some people believe Alkaline remain ahead, others believe Massacre has done enough to close the gap, and others don't even want to compare them. They simply want both artists to continue making good music. Personally, that's probably the LTS approach, because dancehall does not need every talented artist to be fighting. Competition is good, but unnecessary personal attack can destroy opportunities for collaboration. Now let's address another major part of the discussion. There are people online who are connecting this entire situation to Vybz Cartel and the Gaza movement, and we know how passionate Gaza supporters can be. Once Vybz Cartel name enter a conversation, the debate can become extremely intense. Some fans believe every artist should show loyalty, others believe artists should be allowed to develop their own careers. without being permanently tied to another artist's movements. And that's where the conversation surrounding INTENCE become interesting. There have been claims and counterclaims online about relationship between artists, former associations, and who supported whom, but we should be careful about presenting social media allegations as established facts. If the artists themselves have not confirmed something, it is better to describe it as a fan speculation or online claims. That is the responsible way to handle it. So, people, that is where we are right now. SKILLIBENG has responded to the ongoing conversation involving RYtIKAL and his musical style. INTENCE has already created discussion with his latest release. Massacre name has entered the conversation. Alkaline continued to be part of the wider debate about who sits where in modern dancehall. And, of course, because this is dancehall vibes cartel and the Gaza movement, inevitably become part of the conversation whenever questions about influence, loyalty, and musical evolution arrive. So, now I want to hear from you. Do you think Skillibeng has developed a style that is uniquely his own? Do you think RYtIKAL deserves the comparison being made? And should Intense continue pushing the conversation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the Daily Scoop, turn on your notification bell, and share this video with somebody who follow dancehall. Until the next time, big up yourself, stay safe, respect the culture, and remember, let the music do the talking.